guys, what's up? It's me, Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. And before we get started with today's video, remember to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. Today's video is going to be my January reading wrap-up. I read 18 books in the month of January, so we are going to go over them and what they were, what I rated them, and let's just dive right in. So my first book of the year was Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. I gave this 5 stars. I love this one. It is a contemporary romance. It is small town, single dad, nanny, runaway bride, and I just had a fun time. I always love Melanie Harlow's writing. This is book 1 in the Cherry Tree Harbor series, and I had a great time with it. 5 stars. Next, I read Blood Mercy by Bella Roth, book 1 in the Blood Grace series, I'm pretty sure it's called. I give it 4 stars. This is a romantasy. It is the start of a very long romantasy series. I believe there's around 8 books and they're all like well over 600 pages each. So definitely a big series and they all follow the same couple. But this is book 1 and at first I wasn't really enjoying it. I found it a little hard to get into and I was honestly considering DNFing it for the first 100-ish pages. But once I got to about like the halfway mark, it really picked up, maybe even a little before that. I loved it so much. The way it ended, I need book 2, but it is a forbidden romance. He is kind of like a vampire, and he is such a cinnamon roll MMC. I enjoyed this one a lot. 4 stars. Next, I read Coldwood by Cassie Mint. This is the 3rd book in the Winter Warmers series. I enjoy this one. I gave it 4 stars. This one is kind of like a Little Red Riding Hood reimagining, and it is about this young woman who ends up going through the woods to get to her house, and she ends up going through there at night, and at night there's like rumored to be this guy that's there, and he's dangerous, and then there's also animals, of course, and she gets surrounded by, I think it's wolves, and he rescues her, and it is their romance. And next I read Bad Chemistry by Elizabeth Mackenzie. This one I read as an arc. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a contemporary romance. It's only one bed, second chance, and I really liked it. Forced proximity. Basically, these two had a one-night stand many years ago, and now they both show up at this sleep study because they need the money. So it's like they go there, they sleep, and they're monitored while they sleep, and they get paid to be there. And when they are there, the people running the sleep study are like, we only need couples left. We're like, we have enough single people. So they agree to fake being a couple. So it is fake relationship, and I really enjoyed this one. It's cute, it's humorous. I really liked it. And if I didn't say, I give it 4.5 stars. Next, I read Nightbane by Alex Astor. I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. This is book 2 in the Lightlark series, and I had the best time with this. I really liked all of the flashbacks of the characters and like the flashback parts. I really enjoyed. This is a romantasy love triangle. It is young adult, but it's got a little bit of spice to it. There's a little bit of spice. So it's definitely older young adult in my opinion, but I really like this. It got intense. The ending, I'm like, I need book 3. I need to read book 3. I even bought it. It is on my shelves waiting to be read because I adored this book so much. I need to know what happens next. And next, I read An Arc of Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher. I gave this 4 stars. This is a fantasy with a little bit of horror elements mixed in. And this one is about this woman. She wants to get away from her partner. I believe they're engaged, and he is horrible. So she wants to get away. She goes to this desert small town where her aunt lived, but when she gets there, she finds that her aunt has passed away, but they let her stay in her aunt's house, and then stuff starts happening with gods and things like that. It's really enjoyable. It's a very unique story. At least I've never read anything like it or even heard of a book with a similar concept. I really enjoyed it. I liked the writing, and I really liked some of the characters. I really liked the dog. She has a dog, and the dog is the sweetest, cutest thing ever. And I really liked Grandma Billy. Was it Grandma Billy, I think? I really liked the main characters, and I had a fun time. Next, I read Bonded Beyond the Veil by Kate Coelho, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering that. But I was sent the ebook of this by the author, so thank you so much. I give this 5 stars. I loved it. It is a paranormal romance. It is about these 2 people who they were, they had like an online relationship, and then they met up in person and they really liked each other, but then he just never talked to her again, and so she always thought he just ditched her. Then she sees him as a ghost, and he doesn't have all of his memories, so she helps him try to piece together what happened, how long he's been dead, and it was really good, really emotional. I actually teared up. I never cry in books, but I shedded tears during this one, so I would highly, highly recommend. And next, I read A Game of Veils by Eva Chase. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book so much. It is Why Choose Royalty Romantasy. I loved it. There's trials to the death, and it was so, so good. Book 1 in the Royal Spare series. I need to read the next book in the series immediately. I need to buy it. I need to read it because I adored this. This basically follows our FMC. She is a princess, and she is, like her parents say, she's betrothed to this prince of the main kingdom. So she goes there, and it turns out that in order to be with him, she has to win a bunch of, a series of trials where the loser is, the one who does the worst, is murdered brutally in front of everyone. And so she has to do that, but he, the prince, pure evil, horrible, horrible bastard. But she ends up falling for his, kind of like his adopted brothers. Basically, the king just steals children when they turn 7, like from the smaller kingdoms, and says that now they're his adopted kids, and he treats them like garbage. But she falls for 3 of the 4 adopted brothers because one of them is quite young. But she falls for those 3. It is Why Choose. It is really good. There's a little bit of spice in the first book. I enjoyed it. And the plot twist, the cliffhanger, like, mind blown. I was shocked. I need book 2. Next, I read An Arc of the Spiral Key by Kelsey Day. I gave this 4 stars. This was a very unique and interesting YA thriller. This follows our main character. She is a high school student, and she used to have this best friend, but then they had like a falling out where her best friend became the popular girl and was not very nice to our main character. But our main character gets an invite to the ex-best friend's birthday, which is like this big thing that if you get an invite like that means you're popular and you're worthy. And so she goes, and it is this virtual reality because the parents are rich and they own a virtual reality company. So they are all in there, and it turns into a nightmare because this ex-best friend is not a very nice person. And we learn some things about the main character, and the main character starts to see herself in a different light. I don't want to say too much, but I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Snowstorm by Cassie Ment, book 4 in the Winter Warmer series. I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was okay. It was an enjoyable time. I'm glad I read it. I had a fun time. Nothing amazing. 3 stars. This one is, he is a duke and she is a student, and she goes to his like castle on a tour. She ends up falling asleep while she's there, and then there is a snowstorm. They're snowed in together. It's insta love, and I enjoy Cassie Ment's writing, so this one was still an enjoyable read. Next, I read The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This book was phenomenal. I give it 5 stars. This had everything I could want. The plot twist, it was like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. And oh my god, I am obsessed. I love the writing, loved everything about this book, was fantastic. Basically, this follows our main character. She was accused of murdering her mother, and she is finally allowed to go back to work, so they make her work. The company she works for makes her work as a caregiver for this woman who was said, everyone thinks she murdered her entire family when she was just a teenager, and she is now, like, she can't talk or move, and so our main character goes to be her caretaker, and we learn a lot of things, and secrets unravel, and twist after twist. I never saw any of it coming. I loved every second of it. I would highly recommend, if you like thrillers, if you like twists and turns and just shocking plot twists with excellent writing and really interesting characters that I didn't necessarily root for these characters, but they were so intriguing. I loved it. I highly recommend this one. Next, I read In the Dark by Chelsea Curto. Gave this 5 stars. I loved this. This was a dark romance. Basically, it is about this serial killer. He works at this kind of like, what is the term I'm looking for? Like this fair, Halloween fair, amusement thing. And she ends up going there with her best friend because her best friend is a performer at one of these shows. And her best friend convinced her to go through one of the haunted houses. She is terrified of everything horror related, so she does not want to be there. She ends up getting lost in the haunted house and running into our male main character. They instantly have an attraction for each other, and then he helps her to safety and out of the building. Not that she was ever in any danger, but then she decides to go back to see him again, and spicy stuff ensues. They become a couple, but it's a secret relationship. He stalks her. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. There was so much spice and kinky stuff going on. I loved it, and I love Chelsea Curto's writing. Next, I read Game Over by Bex DeVoe and Ellie Eldridge. Gave this 3.5 stars. This is an Omegaverse, camgirl, gamer, romance. It is polyamorous. It is White Shoes, swords crossing. Basically, our FMC is an Omega. She is in this relationship with a Beta, and she ends up meeting his best friend, who is an Alpha, and it turns out they do know each other because he helped her through her heat one time at a heat clinic, and so they know each other. There's tension. I really liked it, and I just had a fun time with it. 3.5 stars. Next, I read Dr. Grant by Katerina Mora. This is a contemporary romance. This is doctor, patient, college, forbidden. I had a fun time. Basically, our FMC, she wants to make and sell her own sex toys. So she is testing one out, and it gets stuck inside her, and she goes to the college campus doctor, who is this guy named Noah. He just started there. They instantly have an attraction, but like the one rule is she is the granddaughter of like the guy who owns the whole school, and he's just very rich and powerful, and he says, stay away from my granddaughter. Of course, Noah doesn't listen, and these two have like such amazing chemistry. I really enjoyed it. And next, I read Bonds and Blooms by Polly Maple. This is an Omegaverse book. It is Wide Shoes, college. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Basically, our FMC is an Omega. She goes to this college, and she's never been around alphas before. She lived in this small town with mostly Omegas and Betas. She goes to this college where, of course, there's all 3 types of people, and she doesn't like alphas because a group of alphas killed her parents when she was really little, and so she thinks that they're all evil and bad. But then she ends up falling for a pack on campus. They are incredible. There is 4 of them, and they're scent matches. I really loved it. It was so good. Low angst, really sweet, and just a really great time. Next, I read Clockwork by Cassie Mint. What book is this? Book 5 in the Winter Warmer series. Gave this 4 stars. Really liked it. This is a book about a clockmaker, and then his friend's little sister needs a job, so she works as his intern, and they really like each other. It's forbidden. It's boss, apprentice, and I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. I gave it 5 stars. I loved this book. It was definitely a slow book. There wasn't much action at all, but it was so creepy and eerie. I loved it. Basically, this follows the main character whose perspective we get throughout the book. We're seeing the book and everything unfold through 8-year-old Bella's eyes. And her parents have relationship issues, but they are very good to her. But she has this creature or entity thing that she first discovered in her closet, and then slowly the thing started to come out and talk to her, and then she calls this creature Other Mommy, and then in this book, Other Mommy leaves the house, other people see her. It's just very creepy. I enjoyed this one a lot, and I would recommend. And lastly, I read He's So Slick by Sinclair Kelly. Gave this 4 stars. This is Hockey, Wide Shoes, Omegaverse. It has some swords crossing. It is a found family sort of pack, and I really enjoyed this one. It was really sweet, and I really enjoyed it. There is 2 Omegas, a Beta, and 2 Alphas, and it was a fun time. Those are all the books I read in the month of January. Let me know either your favorite read of January, or let me know if you've read any of these books or if they're on your TBR. And if you don't like commenting any of that, you can leave a yellow heart emoji. And before you guys go, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.